Hello and welcome to the OverShadow ShadowCast with your host Abigail and normal wizard Tommy Anderson.
You threw me. You just threw me.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah. I've summoned the power of the wind.
Well, I know, so I'm not the host.
And I'm not actually a wizard, but yeah, okay. Okay, I'm the host. Does that help with the logic loop in your brain?
Yeah.
So, what have you been playing this week?
Well, while it's been blustery outside, I have been playing co-op Halo with you.
Or
Halo on co-op with you.
Or to read what is written.
Halo Legendary co-op playlist with Tommy.
Yes. So we've been specifically playing the Legendary playlist together.
Yes.
So I read somewhere that you could play the playlists co-op and they would track for both people.
Which is good because I think last time I played co-op with you, for some reason, it jump-started me back to the beginning of a level that I had gone halfway through with you. But I had gone halfway through by myself and then we played it together and then it jump-started me back to the beginning of that level.
Yeah, it does that. That's normal. But on the playlist, it saves the progress differently.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be playing through the campaign missions out with the playlists in your own order, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Or you could be playing the heroic playlist by yourself. Anywho, yeah, the wind.
The
gods,
weather is angry.
The wind gods are angry.
It's so pretty outside, but it's so windy, so it's quite cold. Kind of day where you want to go for. Yeah, in here it's roasting hot. I received a message this morning, actually last night, saying it's going to be absolutely freezing where we record, so hats, gloves, scarf. So I thought, oh, I'll wear the warmest jumper I have, and it's roasting in here.
I didn't bank on the complete lack of clouds to come with this massive amount of wind. Basically...
So if I sound very lethargic, it's because I'm so hot. It's just so hot.
Anyway, so yeah, we double checked after we were done playing, and
that it was keeping track of the progress.
And both of us had done the same amount of missions on that playlist.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just all the missions on Legendary difficulty. And so I selected to play it, but before I added you to my team roster, I had you go and select it too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if any of that was necessary, but I just wanted to try and cover as many bases as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked. So you were hovering over the Legendary playlist when I invited you to join my team.
Yeah. Can I also just say, I was expecting an entire day of gaming, so I didn't plan anything. And I mean, actually started telling what it was about 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but I'm not doing very well. I'll try my best.
It's not good enough.
Okay, I'll try my best.
Try my bestest.
I'll try. Well, what are you doing today?
Going home and getting changed into cooler clothes.
Yeah. So the idea that we had was that we would play through it on Legendary playlist, because I've already played through the missions on Legendary myself, and I was sort of havering over whether or not to... Havering? That is not the right word. I was sort of wavering over whether or not to play the Legendary playlist, soon or wait a wee while. And I decided that when you said you wanted to play, and the next logical difficulty for us to move to was Legendary, because you just finished the game on Heroic, we'd try this.
Yeah, I had to wait until I finished the entire game before you would even tolerate the idea of playing this with me.
Yeah, you need to play the story. You need to see, I don't think you'd have enjoyed it as much if we kept cutting in. You wouldn't have been able to follow the story as much. Anywho, so what we did was we played a couple of missions on Halo Legendary, and we're going to do that once a week to see how far we get, and then report progress.
We both sound like someone's just dragged us out of bed and literally just gone, record.
Yeah, but I have to, yeah.
It's funny.
This won't quite be like the same sort of length as Project Abigail Plays GTA 3. Because there's only 10 Halo missions, and how many did we get through, Abigail?
2?
Yes, we did. Do you know what those missions were? The first...
I'm trying to remember. Give me a second. Oh, it was the Fall of the Autumn.
Pillar of Autumn.
Darn it!
No, you were really good. Pillar of Autumn.
Pillar of Autumn, and then it was, I can't remember the name of it, but you were driving around trying to help people. Like when we crash land on Halo.
I think it's called... It originally was just called Halo, but it might be called Landing on Halo or something like that now. But it was originally just, that mission was just called Halo.
But anyway, so you're going around trying to rescue, what are they called? Escape pod, not escape pods, but like escape ships.
Shuttle pods.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we played some missions. So you've taken some notes.
I have
Pertaining to what we did.
taken 4 notes.
Let's try and read those because independent thought is proving difficult.
For you or me?
Everybody in this room.
Right, okay, so you decided that I had to learn how to drive the Warthog better, and also have a go at the shooting. Because there's it's like a machine gun, isn't it, that's attached to the back of the Warthog, which has unlimited ammo.
Aye. Massive big chain gun.
Which can be very useful if you know how to drive it and how to shoot from it. Because if you're playing it solo, you have to wait for some other members of the military to sort of jump on. Like
Marine.
Yeah, the Marines have to jump on, and they're the ones that use the gun.
Why is that?
Because you can't drive and use the gun at the same time. They're independent of each other.
Yeah. And
but when you're playing in... Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just going to say they can't drive.
Yeah, and they can't drive. But if you're playing in co-op, one of you can drive and one of you can shoot. So you decided, right, you need practice driving. Go get in the car. The Warthog. Okay, flashbacks to learning how to drive. Get back in that Warthog and off you go. And again, I just found it really difficult to, because you keep talking about this blue arrow.
Yeah.
At the front.
Aye.
I don't ever use it. I forget it's there half the time.
Oh, I don't use it anymore either, but when I was learning it was useful.
Yeah, but I didn't even know it was there the first time I used it.
The whole point is that, from what I can tell, is that you're more likely to brake than I am, and as in slow the car. Also, you're more likely to overcompensate on a turn, because I think you're turning based on the front of the vehicle, as opposed to you simply point the camera in the direction you want to go, and then the car will catch up.
Yeah, I understand that, but I just don't understand why it keeps swinging wildly left to right.
Well, that's where you're trying to compensate for it. Don't just let it. Because you see, if you point in a direction and push forward on the movement stick, it will do this.
Because we had this massive argument over the fact that you were saying do some donuts. And you did them first so I could see what it looked like. And then I went to do it, and you kept telling me to do that. Was it point forward and turn left or whatever it was? Just hold it down. And I was doing that. And you said, well, obviously you're not doing it because you're going out of the donut. I was like, I am doing it. And you got really aggravated at me. And I'm like, I don't understand what else to do. Which wasn't the first time you got angry at me, which is one of my points.
I was not actually that aggravated at you that time. I was sort of trying not to laugh. I was actually going to compliment you and say your driving got way better. And then I switched you to the gun because you never had a chance to use it before.
Yeah.
And that was when it all went to...
Because the gun doesn't point properly.
But you saw how easily I was taking everything out.
Yeah, but I kept aiming at it and it was going like up or down and it wasn't like true aiming. That was annoying.
What
it was it was aiming at something, but it kept shooting either above it or below it. It wasn't actually aiming it right at the thing.
And you were it's quite a big circle. You were putting the thing in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Right. It just looked like you were consistently shooting around it, almost as if you were trying to put whatever you were shooting at on the circle as opposed to in it.
No, I was putting it in the circle.
Right.
Who puts it on the circle?
I don't think anybody does, but it's all I could think of, considering how...
That shows how little faith you actually have in me, and how little belief you have in my intelligence.
Oh, by the way, were you tracking the target? Leading the target?
What does
If
that
it's
mean?
moving, you have to shoot slightly in front of it. You can't just point
That's
at it.
probably what I was doing wrong.
Right,
then.
okay.
Which brings me on to my next point.
Oh, God.
What do you think of my progress? In terms of like how I was the first time you played co-op with me compared to the second time.
Oh, okay, so you move more. You don't stand still. That's a bit of an issue. Because on co-op, single player you want to move a lot, but on co-op you have to take into account the fact that you're playing with another person. So if you run from side to side across the front of them, they're going to shoot you and chuck grenades off you and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to physically block each other. But I think moving too much is better than moving not enough, because it's less likely to cause a problem, but it's still not perfect. When it comes to the vehicle use, your driving and shooting in it are better than they were. When it comes to you knowing where to go and what to do, you're more survivable, and you're able to do more damage.
Yeah.
You look after your own reloads, you throw your grenades better, you know when to throw them by yourself, but you can coordinate. I would say you're definitely around heroic level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's vast improvement, because you weren't even at easy level when you started.
Yeah.
Well, you were actually, you didn't die when you did it. So you're probably on about easy-ish, maybe heading towards normal when you started. And you do look around a lot for ammo. I think the problem is you look around maybe a wee bit too much for ammo. You don't seem to quite believe when you've run over it. The amount of times I turned around on Pillar of Autumn to find you like running headfirst into a bulkhead to see if you could find a grenade or something. But the fact that you were looking for grenades and ammo meant you were using them, and I couldn't see many times where you were shooting so wildly you weren't hitting anything, so it means you were shooting stuff.
Yeah, but that's just what I'm used to sort of playing on by myself, because I always think, right, just take as much advantage of the situation that you're in by looking around, and always be looking around, because you'll need it.
Yeah, you do, but...
And I'm so used to looking for not so much like packs of ammo, but for like weapons.
I think the packs of ammo only appear in...
The Pillar of Autumn.
Actually, no, they don't. That's incorrect. You find these wee pockets of ammo dumps on missions, and they appear in those too. So your progress is extremely good.
That's good.
You just have to try to learn to play a difficulty level in co-op, so you're not... I mean, it was hilarious when I said at the end of the first mission, just chuck all the grenades you can over this barrier and it'll kill all the bad guys. And then you were running forward to throw, and then running back so you weren't getting shot.
Yeah.
But you then lobbed the grenade straight off the barrier in front of you because you mistimed it, and all I heard was, "Oh my god, grenade, run away!" That was funny.
I think I'm getting better at sort of saying, like, listen, I'm launching a grenade.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're saying,
because,
I'm launching a
there
grenade.
was a couple of times I accidentally killed you, I think.
Yeah, you stuck a grenade on me a couple of times, yeah.
Which brings me to my next point. You got angry with me.
Yeah, I did.
At the beginning. You were getting so angry with me. And like...
The very, 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 very start where we were shooting Captain Keyes in the face for a laugh and all the Marines were coming out.
Yeah.
And I said to you, right, see when I tell you to go, you go down the right-hand side, okay? And you went, okay. So I turned around to shoot Captain Keyes, and you had already run away. And so I had to tell you like 4 times until I started shooting the ground and said, stand there.
Yeah, you keep, like, anytime I need to go somewhere, you keep shooting where I need to go. It's like, but I know where I need to go.
Not on
Don't
that
need
you
to
didn't.
shoot.
You were running the wrong way on that.
No, I wasn't running the wrong way.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Well, you were running when you shouldn't have been.
Just because I live my life the way I want to.
I'm being my best me. Yeah,
I'm
but you're
being my
absolutely-
best gaming me.
You're ruining all of my plans. Anyway, it's just good to have team coordination and cohesion, and not the guy making all the noise, shooting in the air, running the wrong way.
You got angry at me because I wouldn't go through a door, and I said, I can't go through a door. Then you're like, oh, it's not working co-op. Okay.
No, I got angry at you. Not because you couldn't go through the door, but because I had a carefully coordinated plan, which you then ignored.
I didn't even know you could shoot him in the face. So, that is pretty much all I want to say on Halo co-op, because like, it was just more difficult on Legendary than it is obviously on Heroic, but I didn't find it that much different.
Yeah, it's because you were playing it with another person. I think by yourself you'd really see the difference. Legendary and single player is a massive change from Heroic.
Mm-hmm. So that's all I have to say. What have you been playing?
I'm going to give you a bit of a heads up, which is that in my opinion, the next mission we have is the hardest one on Legendary in the game.
Yeah, you said that to me.
So, yay.
So that's what both of us have been playing, mainly me, because I've not been playing anything else, but you've been playing something else. What have you been playing?
Well, I haven't actually been, I've been sort of finishing off Trials of the Blood Dragon. I played through the story and spoke about it last time. Last time I said that it's a decent game to get if you like 80s styling, or you like the Far Cry Blood Dragon and you want to see some more of the story. I suppose if you really want to see some more of the story, that would be a good reason to get it, because it does continue the ridiculous story. It'd also be good to sort of give you, if you've never played a Trials game before, to give you some rough idea of how the mechanics work in Trials.
Yeah.
But, and I still stick to that, although I would recommend other Trials games before this one if you want to get a feel for it without paying the full price of the newest release. But from the looks of me attempting to do some of the more high-end stuff, some of the more stuff in the game with higher difficulties, trying to get an A or A+ grade on some of the harder tracks, it doesn't quite have the fidelity between player control system and then what happens in the game for you to be able to do it without basically just doing it 1,000 times and relying on luck to get you at one point. You don't really feel like you're learning. So it feels mostly like the controls are just randomly saying no.
Right.
And so I wouldn't recommend it for that reason. So yeah, I would recommend it if you love the Blood Dragon storyline, or if it's the cheapest Trials game and you just want to see if you like the mechanics before you get, say, Trials, the most recent Trials. But I would have to say that I don't particularly think this is a good Trials game. I recommend it on those terms, which I think is what I did last week.
Okay.
And if it isn't, then I'm altering it, but I'm pretty sure it is what I said last week.
I think it was, yeah. I remember you saying that.
Anyway.
She says, not confidently.
That's all I have to say. There's audiographic evidence on YouTube.
Or possibly not, depending on if you had said it or not.
There's evidence as to whether or not I said it. And now, the news.
To the news. And I see Bethesda. Again.
It's only one Bethesda story.
Good.
So this is a bit convoluted because it's actually taking place over a bit of time, this story, but there was a new posting for a Bethesda game on sale on Amazon, which comes with a trailer of an old-timey countdown. And there's been a lot of questions about what's it for. Is it a remaster? You know, there's some of the old Fallout games, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. I don't think that Bethesda have the rights to publish any of the previous Fallout games, so if it was a Fallout remake, it would be one of those two. Maybe it's a remaster of another Bethesda game like Rage 1 or The Evil Within, maybe. because I don't think we've seen.
What's the evil with
It's
it?
a horror survival game. I think that was original Xbox.
It sounds like a movie. I'm sure there's a movie with that in it. Or am I thinking of The Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or The Enemy Within.
I've not heard of that.
I don't think it would be The Evil Within because that was released like 2014, 2015, something like that. That was for Xbox One, so I don't know if they would remaster that. Bethesda removed the posting placeholder on Amazon as soon as the news broke, which means that it could be a controlled or internal leak. So they deliberately leaked it.
Yeah.
So that they could then take it down as soon as to try and build hype.
Mhm.
Also, it turns out that the countdown timer was sort of hacked into the posting, so it may mean absolutely nothing, or it may be that they're trying to put us off.
Mhm.
Or it may be that this was an internal unplanned leak, similar to the Rage leak.
All right.
Could it be a new game or IP that they aren't ready to talk about? Unlike Rage 2, like I just said, where it leaked early and they were able to make that work for them. Or is it is it Pete Hines asking for help? Pete Hines he did a lot of social media stuff like before Fallout 76 came out. This is what Fallout 76 is going to be like, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And then when it was a disaster, he disappeared. He hasn't made a posting since November last year. So I thought that was a bit funny. I put that in because I thought that was funny. But
I'm sure other people who properly know who he is will find that funny.
Any ideas? Because all the other games that are coming out for Bethesda's game studios have their own postings, so
Might just be a hack or a hoax or something.
could be.
Maybe it's a very, very early April Fool's. Maybe it's supposed to be an April Fool's, but they've forgotten when April Fool's actually is.
I've forgotten when April is. So we'll keep an eye on that, but there's not really much else to say because we don't have enough information yet.
Yes.
Move on to the next story.
Yes.
Borderlands is receiving a remaster. It's called Borderlands Game of the Year Edition. And there is some rumour that there will soon be a Borderlands 3 announcement to go alongside this release. Others have been remastered in the Anthem collection, Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Interesting considering some of the previous stories that we've discussed on the ShadowCast regarding Randy Pritchard.
What's a pre-sequel?
That's his name.
Oh.
It's called the
I thought that was just a thing. I was like, but pre-sequel is original.
But when I wrote that down, I was worried that you would pronounce it pre-sequel.
Don't think I'm just going to automatically not know what words are.
So do you remember the story that I spoke of regarding Randy Pritchard, CEO of Gearbox? He was the man who lost the memory stick and then they found the magic trick on
yes, yes. I remember. Yes.
What they call like pigeon parties or something like that.
I don't want to remember, but yes, I do remember.
The magic trick.
Stop talking about it.
Yeah. But it was interesting because there was some suggestions that was finances that had been diverted from game production.
Yes, for a 6-pack.
No, that was the man who they sued. The man who counter-sued, or the man they counter-sued, whatever, suggested that it was that Randy Hines was using the money for pigeon parties or whatever the hell it is he calls them. You know, the ones that he suggests had underage children.
Yes, okay, yes.
But I found it interesting because there's a train going by. We'll just keep going anyway. I found it interesting because, I mean, that wind is basically cutting right through everything. I mean,
Yeah.
look at that is the wrath of God. Or Zeus or whatever.
Was it Zeus? Would Zeus be the one responsible for the wind? I'm sure there was another god that was in charge of that.
Probably. What was Demeter in charge of? I can never remember.
I don't know. I know Morpheus was in charge of sleep. Aphrodite was love.
Was Demeter in charge of feasts?
Demeter.
I don't know, I just remember reading something about Demeter and a feast. It's possible he just had dinner once and I've confused it. Demeter.
Demeter.
Eter. Them ETs in the ER.
Oh no, Persephone was her daughter.
Was she in charge of noise?
No, I think Demeter was the harvest and fertility, of course, yes. And because her daughter Persephone was carried off by Hades, and she had to stay in the underworld for however many pomegranate seeds she ate, and so she ate 6. So she had to stay in Hades for 6 months of the year and could only be on Earth for 6 months. So during the 6 months she was in Hades, the land would be barren and cold, and have virtually like no harvest. But when she was on Earth, her mother rejoiced, so the harvest came back. Hence why we have winter, why we have the harvest season when we don't. But Earth used to be bountiful until she went away. Demeter, yeah. Demeter, yeah. Sorry, but yeah. Persephone was her daughter. That's how you pronounce her name, Persephone.
Mm-hmm. And Demeter
was her mother.
Right.
Because what happened was, while she was off like doing the harvest stuff, or she was doing something, Hades found Persephone, her daughter, and he just stole her away. And then she spent, I think, about a year searching for her. And it was only like after a year that a water sprite or water spirit told her where she was. And then she found out, and Zeus declared that as long as she hadn't eaten anything, she could return. But she, that morning, had decided to have 6 pomegranate seeds. So Zeus declared that because you ate 6 seeds, you had to stay with Hades for 6 months, but you could come back for 6 months.
Interesting concept that the classical Greeks had months identical to our own. Anyway. Can we just get back to the...
Would you like to hear the story of Narcissus?
No.
Oh.
Let's continue with what we're doing. I found this interesting because Borderlands 3 has been in development for an uber long time. But I thought you might be interested in Borderlands because it's basically a loot shooter that you're supposed to play with a group of friends. Hello!
Hello! So, I thought there was more to that.
Yeah, so I thought maybe you might be interested. Also, I'm glad to see that they did remaster 2 because apparently when 2 came out it had some pretty... Although this could be the remaster that I remember seeing, but one of them had some pretty bad lag if you were in a party of people, so it didn't really work very well.
Oh, that's not good.
So I'm hoping that the remaster fixed that, and maybe that's why they remastered it,
Yeah.
so much earlier than 1. I just thought that story was interesting because they are taking a long time producing 3.
Yes.
And the accusation that money's being filtered towards Randy Pritchard.
Might have something to do with that.
It's interesting. We don't know. It's just an accusation at the moment. We don't know. It is alleged.
Yes.
But it is interesting.
Anthem.
Although it could just be...
Anthem.
No. It could just be that they're taking their time over making a good game.
Anthem.
In which case that's good. Okay. Little one. We'll move on to Anthem now.
Don't call me little one.
Well then stop acting like a child.
Go and throw up in that bucket, because at least I think you can recycle. I
consider that food waste.
The food waste bucket.
Anthem is not doing very well.
Which we kind of predicted.
Yeah, with its review scores. Floating around the 60 out of 100 mark for critics and the 4 to 4.5 out of 10 mark for player reviews on Metacritic across all 3 platforms that it's available for. One critic, this is an interesting side note, was made to take their video down. The official reason it was given was that they didn't make it clear enough that he had been paid for the review. However, he was paid as an influencer and he gave a bad review. Is that why? I believe he was an EA influencer. Was it taken down because he gave a bad review and they expected the people they had paid to give them good ones?
So, hold on, this guy was paid to make a review,
Right.
but he made a bad one. So it was taken down.
No, not as in bad as in it was a terrible video or something like that.
No.
But
I say it was a
gave
bad review.
A bad review.
That's what I mean, yes. So it was taken down.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that it was ordered down because it was a bad review, not because he didn't make it clear.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Because I doubt very much EA would have ordered it down if it was a good review.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting. I mean, I disagree.
Well, it's what's it called? It's damage control. It sounds like.
I don't think this is EA trying to assert dominance, because the guy will just make it clearer and put the video back up. But the simple fact of the matter is that I find it very interesting that an influencer who was paid, I don't agree with being paid to give reviews a lot of the time. I think it sort of muddies the water a bit.
Well, that will put all critics out of work. All food critics are out of work.
No, they're not paid by the company releasing the game.
Okay.
That's who the influencer is paid by a company releasing the game.
Right.
And so I'm not sure I agree with that. But it is interesting that the man had enough honour to give an honest review. He said, look, you might pay me, but I'm not lying.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very interesting line for him to toe.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah, well, obviously it does sound like they're possibly don't like what they've heard, so they've asked him to take it down.
Yeah. Anyway, to go back to the Anthem critics' reviews, the Anthem reviews are so bad that I think it's only 80% as opposed to something like 50 or 60, maybe 40, 50, 60, something like that, of critics have recommended that people buy Anthem. 18%, right?
Whoa.
Compared to I think it's about 60, but it could be 40 or 50 that recommended people buy Andromeda.
Right.
Andromeda was the Mass Effect game that came out that was totally broken.
Ah.
One of the lines in the game was, "I'm sorry, my face is tired." I honestly can't tell you if it was supposed to say that or if it was just a bad line that the game had accidentally bugged out and delivered.
I wish I could use that line in life. Sorry, my face is tired.
But Anthem actually works. It has some bugs and all the rest of it, but you can play it. But Andromeda was just totally broken. My brother stopped playing it when he had to backtrack through an entire mission to find one of his mates running up and down against a wall. It was just really, really bad.
Well, their sales are down as well, aren't they, compared to everybody else?
Well, yeah, but to recommend Andromeda and not Anthem when Anthem does work. Do you know why I think they recommended it? It's probably because it was so blooming funny. Like, the bugs in Andromeda are funny.
Yeah, it's like when a movie's so bad it's funny.
Mm. I mean, this was bad because it killed the Mass Effect series, but it was still funny. But this is the issue, and I think people have learned from this, and critics know they can't get away with it. The reason Andromeda tanked among players is because they had a beta where the bugs that were played, right?
Mm-hmm.
A beta. And in that beta, there was a famous bug where the guy pulls out a gun to threaten someone, right? And it's pointed the wrong way. So he's pointing a gun at himself to try and threaten someone, right? It's like he's trying to hand him it.
Yeah.
It was still in the main game 6 months later.
Jeez.
And that's why. People know if a game's beta is terrible, and then the game comes out within a year, it's not going to be any good. Because that's what EA have done in the past, and it was rubbish. It's the same with Fallout 76. And that's what's happened here.
Right.
Is that the critics know that people are not going to buy that game on their review if their review is good after it had such bugs. It's also a bit boring.
Mm-hmm.
So I reckon that's what's happened, is the critics have come down on it to try and save their own skins, but even if it means EA are unhappy with them. I can see that being why.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Because I've played Anthem, I've seen, Brian's spoken to me about Andromeda, and Andromeda might be funny, and I sort of wish I could go back and play it in its original condition. but Anthem actually works.
Yeah,
It's a bit unfair, to be honest. It's boring, but it works. Anyway, so you mentioned sales for the sales
Yes.
target for Anthem. EA has set 6 million copies by the end of March.
which is soon. Ish.
Well, yeah, because the game only came out like a week or two ago.
Oh god, yeah, that's right.
So a comparison of UK physical sales of looter shooters has the numbers for Borderlands 2 at about 190,000.
Is this in the same time frame?
Aye.
Okay.
Destiny at around 417,000, The Division at 277,000, Destiny 2 at 175,000, and Anthem at 42,000.
So it's less than half of the lowest one before that, which was 175.
It also sold about half of Fallout 76 and Mass Effect Andromeda, which people knew at release were buggy messes. And it
Jeez.
still sold only half of what they got. Now this is UK physical alone, but for a complete comparison, that is disastrous.
Yeah.
I mean, people...
That was a very loud knuckle crack there.
Yeah, wrist crack. People were very unhappy with Destiny 2's sales numbers, and they are, because they're 175 compared to 417. Now hopefully with Destiny being under the sole control of Bungie and Activision not pushing them to release content that isn't ready yet, they can make a good game with Destiny 3 or whatever comes after. But EA they've just pushed games out too soon. This game has been released a year early, and the problem that EA have is people know it. People know Anthem was released early. That's why they've not bought this one.
When was it supposed to be released? Like, if it's been released early.
No, I'm telling you, it needed another year of
Okay.
development. Same with 76 and Mass Effect Andromeda.
I totally just didn't like zone out for like 10 seconds there while you were talking.
Fallout 76 and Mass Effect Andromeda were terrible betas that released into terrible games.
Yeah.
Anthem had a terrible beta. So people have just said, oh no, this is going to be terrible as well. I'm not wasting my money on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts regarding the sales figures for Anthem?
It's
Do you
not
think
good.
they'll hit 6 million?
No.
Ooh, so
Unless there was like some sort of massive surge. Everybody just waiting for payday.
But what do you think they're going to do if it doesn't hit 6? Do you think they'll withdraw support for it?
I think they would.
I don't think that. I mean, that game is basically. They've got a release schedule up till May, right? The game's not even fully released yet. So I'm not sure how early they can withdraw it before they get sued. But it's also.
Do you think they'll get sued?
Well, if they don't add in everything they said they were going to add when they sold it, yeah. The company's not poor enough for them to be able to make that excuse. But will they withdraw support once their obligations are seen through? Yeah, I think they would. It depends what the exact number is, but I definitely think they would. Which is a shame, because I reckon if they give it another year of development or wait a year, people will buy that game. Because I think it's got potential.
I think it does have potential. I mean, the flying element is, I think, is the most creative part of it, but even that's sort of a little bit.
It's a bit off.
Yeah.
A lot of it's boring and the flying's a bit off, and yeah.
But it's like what somebody the review I watched, what was it, last week or the week before, it said, because of the cooldown mechanism, you know there's always going to be water nearby.
Yes.
There's always going to be waterfalls, there's always going to be a river.
There's also the fact, I've just had a thought that if the new consoles come out next year, Anthem might not have that long on it. Anthem might not have years to get good because it's been released for a console that's about to become obsolete.
Is my console about to become obsolete?
Yeah, well eventually, well yeah.
Oh, I literally just bought it.
Well yeah, but it'll be like 2 years down the line.
No, still, that's not a lot. That's not a long shelf. That's not a long life for a console.
Well, it came out in 2014, so it'll be 6 years.
Oh, jeez. Oh well, I bought it now.
Well,
Can't give it back.
You've enjoyed it.
I have, yeah.
You couldn't have
I'm
had
just
enough.
worried. I just want to fork out another 200 quid in
Oh, it will
for the one before.
It will not be 200 quid.
No, I mean like like how I bought the 1S. What was the one that came out after the 1S?
X.
So yeah, like to equip the X, just constantly being like a console behind everybody else. That was like what I did with my phone. I was always like 2 phones behind the latest release.
X. I would, at least not until this, unless like this channel somehow starts making money, I wouldn't get the X. I would just skip to the next one.
So unless they keep playing games for mine, making games.
They will for, if the previous gen is to go by, they will for about a year to a year and a half.
Great.
But they'll be back ports, games designed for both consoles.
This is why I didn't want to buy a new console, because I knew I was going to go down this rabbit hole eventually.
Well, yeah, eventually, but that's just silly because all consoles will eventually do that. Just another story here about EA. EA has fired a lot of employees, I think, in Australia. It's interesting that the gaming sphere doesn't apparently have a union. It probably does in the UK. In Europe, but outside of Europe they probably don't. Apparently unions are still up for debate in certain countries. How interesting. It's typical step 1/2 for EA, isn't it? They're one of the richest countries on earth, but their step 1s and 2 is always some arrangement of fire people and then massively over monetize.
Was it Activision Blizzard that recently let off like
800.
Yeah. Let go of, not let off.
But it was
let
like
off,
40 or 50 workers, right?
Yeah.
Which is apparently 10% of the gaming industry in Australia.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there are people there who've said that they do not understand how anything is going to get done considering the people that have been let go. It's like entire sections of the chain have been cut out, so they don't see how they're going to get anything done now. So they're just waiting for the news to come that they're all gone.
Yeah. That must be a horrible feeling to have.
Well, the next story is a report that I read. It's an analysis of pay has found that EA and Activision Blizzard CEOs are among the most overpaid CEOs. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick is paid $28.7 million, which is 306 times more than the average employee, and he is 45th in the list of 100 overpaid CEOs. EA's CEO Andrew Wilson is paid $35.7 million, which is 371 times more than his average employee.
Are these annual salaries?
Yep.
Oh god.
He is 98 out of 100. I believe that means he's essentially third.
Could you imagine getting paid that much money per year?
Can you imagine getting paid that much more than your average employee and then firing them to save money?
That's sick.
That's what's disgusting, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you could save 300 employees by firing that guy.
Yeah. Or even if you just that is more money than any person really needs.
Imagine if you said to the
even
average
if you get paid
employee,
$1 million a year, that's more the money than most people need.
Imagine if you said to the employee, look, we're going to fire Bobby Kotick and you're going to take his job, but we're not paying you 28.7, we're paying you 1. That's fine, I'll do that. They'd take it. It's like, and all of your friends don't lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it. I hate it. CEOs that cause the little, they shoot all the little guys before they'll take a hit themselves. Disgust me.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else to say about that. I just wanted to say how much these people disgust me.
Well, you've done that now.
Do you have anything to say?
It's just shocking because this isn't just isolated to gaming industries. This is everybody. The people at the top reap the benefits, and the people below normally are always the ones that suffer.
Yeah. And then they still make that stupid argument that CEOs are worth it because they bring in loads of extra money.
But obviously they're not if they're firing employees.
Exactly. Like, I could fire employees to make the company more money. Abigail, you're fired.
You're taking away the money there.
Tommy, you're fired.
I'll do this all myself, and I'll turn it into a vlogging channel.
But that's what's interesting, isn't it? Is that if it's all about saving corporate money, right? Why don't they just give themselves a pay cut?
Because they don't want to. Simple as.
So the last few couple of stories here is about Game Pass. Game Pass is a gigantic fish
Game Pass.
that you can subscribe to.
That's gonna be the name if we ever make a. It's gonna be called Game Pass. We'll have gaming section for you and a fishing section for me.
That's a good point. Yeah, that would work. Game Pass is coming to Nintendo Switch. Some games will be natively run by the Switch, and others that can't be will be streamed. Interesting to see if this includes Xbox exclusives like Halo 5. We'll need to see more later. Does that mean that Game Pass will make it possible to play Xbox games on anything that is a smart? Could you plug a controller into a smart TV and stream Halo?
Are you asking that as an actual question? Because I don't know.
I don't mind subscription services for games. Because you can buy them if you buy yourself if you want to. As in, you can buy the games individually. And if this is an addendum, being able to stream games on a smart TV for people who are not hardcore gamers, that's fine. Makes the gaming industry a bit more money, and then hopefully we'll get better games because of it. But if they switch to this, it's going to backfire, because people who like their consoles, who like to sit down and play through proper games, hardcore gamers, are not going to respond well to moving to easy convenience for part-timers.
No, I don't think so.
It has to be an addendum. It cannot be a change to this.
So Game Pass, I know that exists, you can get that for the Xbox. Yeah. Is that an independent thing or is that a Microsoft thing?
It's a Microsoft thing, I think.
Okay.
I think it's actually it might be an independent company that's associated with Microsoft or is a subsidiary of Microsoft. But the fact that it only has Xbox games leads me to believe that Microsoft have something to do with it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that would please hardcore gamers having just everything be on a Game Pass instead of actually having a physical copy of it.
Well, I don't like physical copies.
No, I mean like a digital copy or actually.
An individually.
Excuse me, owning it.
Yeah, an individually owned copy.
Yes, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. So, just to round off that wee story and the podcast as a whole, I just got the Game Pass.
Yes, you did because you wanted me to sit down with you and read through everything.
Yeah, we were talking on the phone when I activated it, so I read out all the games I had access to, and it was basically just me going, ooh, ah, ooh, until I got down to the very end, and at the bottom it says KOTOR.
Yes, you were very happy.
See, to play KOTOR would be worth paying £9 a month. Not that I am. Or is it £8 a month? Not that I am.
But at the moment you're paying £1.
I'm paying £1, and then Aurora is getting me a code, so I have code for to play for a year. So
I don't have a code.
Yeah.
But I do hear geese or swans.
No, it's a saw.
Sounded like geese, like a flock of geese flying over.
Knights of the Old Republic. I love Knights of the Old Republic.
I know. I think everybody knows that listens to this.
I was so happy.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, I played KOTOR first time round. It was the first Christmas after I changed school. So it was a couple of months after I changed school. My Uncle John bought me KOTOR. For the PC, my PC couldn't play it, so I got it for the Xbox. I played it about 6 billion times.
Make you happy over the school that you had been changed to.
Yeah, I was just annoyed it wasn't a Jedi Academy. I was just about to say that I remember sitting down with my mother to do the mathematics puzzles in the game. And she refused to help me, like not saying I'm not going to help you, but just she pretended to not know the answer so I'd work it out for myself. At like 12, 13.
Is this why at like 10:30 last night, 11:45, you were asking me, oh, what could this word mean? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm tired. I've been working all day. Just tell me. Say, no, you'll work it out. You'll work it out.
Yeah. And I cannot wait to play that game with you at some point and see you try to do the mathematics puzzles.
I can't wait for you to play Life is Strange. I'm waiting for that. I want to be in the same room with you when you play it.
That's fine. But I'm looking forward to the KOTOR. I love KOTOR.
But then we have equally interesting things that we could play.
No, because KOTOR is better. But we have an equal interest in things that we could play.
That's what I meant. It's also interesting. So shut your face.
That is everything, because I now must shut my face. That's all the news for today.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed listening.
So do I, even though we've been a bit...
lethargic and
yes.
scattered.
Yes.
But you can like and subscribe below if for some reason you enjoyed this video, this ShadowCast.
If you've stayed to the end, I'm quite surprised.
I'm proud of you.
Yes.
There's a delightful arrangement of previous ShadowCasts. You can also click the bell icon for notifications.
It sounded like you said kick the bell.
You can click the bell icon for notifications. It'll go ding. And you can follow us on Facebook at overshadow.shadowcast, and you can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com.
All comments welcome, all
Yep.
emails welcome.
Anybody wants to join in with the one Mr. Anderson who said nice. And I am now going to
Shut your face.
shut my face and probably collapse.
So I'll say goodbye.
I will also say goodbye.
See you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.